All right, buckle up for this one. Is it going to be easier than you thought? Yes and no. The easy part is going to be the receiving. The hard part is going to be in letting go. The death card was the first card that came out when I asked the question, is it going to be easier than I thought, Mama? Mama is God that I am referring to. Out came the death card. This is the hard part, right? Because the mind wants to get in the way. You've got to die to this version of yourself that is holding on for dear life, holding on to outcomes, holding on to the way that it should be, the way that it should look, the way that it should feel. You've got to let that go. You've got to let that go. And a death process is never easy. It can be incredibly painful. It can be confusing. And my God, is it this white knuckling kind of feeling of what happens if I let go? What happens if I let go? Next came the lovers. Answering the question, what happens if I let go? Now is not the time to force shit. Now is not the time to be frantic. Now is not the time to chase. Now is the time as you go through this death process of letting go, of purging, of transforming, of dying, to love yourself and to allow yourself to be loved. You've got to allow the version of yourself that feels so fucking unlovable, who hasn't been loved. You've got to allow that version of yourself to die. Do you hear me? Now is not the time to pour any of your energy outside of you, but a time to fill up yourself. Now is the time to love yourself, to get involved in the greatest love story there is with yourself. Now is the time to see yourself through the eyes of a lover. Do you hear me? That in turn is what's going to make it easy. That in turn is what literally turns your magnetism into an incredibly powerful, attracting force. The visual that was shown to me is like the bird in the hand, and it's funny because I was just watching the movie The Starling last night, and the scene where she was holding the bird in her hand. When we love, we don't hold on for dear life, do we? No. We allow that bird to sit in our hand, to fly away, and also to come back. That is incredibly magnetic. Love doesn't chase. We are beings of love. There are parts of us that need to die in order for us to be in this incredible state of unconditional love for ourselves. Not loving ourselves when we're only winning. Not loving ourselves only when we're making money. Not loving ourselves only when other people are clapping for us. Loving ourselves despite. The Five of Pentacles, the word that was circled, highlighted, like honed in on is the word temporary. You've got to let this version of you that is stuck in scarcity, that is stuck in lack, that is always afraid, that is always worrying and doubting, the version of you who has had to fight tooth and nail for everything that you've had. And that's not to invalidate that version of you. No, we're going to clap for that version of ourselves first. That's what we knew. But we know better now. That is a thing of the past. Can you let that version of you who never has enough go? Eight of Cups. Ace of Swords. Two of Pentacles. And I'm going to save that last card for the end. I think there's this feeling of almost like a point of no return is what I'm hearing. Of like we almost have to get so sick and tired of our own bullshit. And that's not out of shame or judgment. But we have to get so sick and tired of thinking and feeling and doing the same thing over and over again that's not doing or providing any sense of change. We have to get so sick of it that we let it go, that we move away from it, that we choose something different. The fears and the doubts and the anxieties and the lack and all of that. It's just because that's how we've always thought and felt, but it's not the fucking truth. Take some time, pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. Love yourself even when you're not necessarily fucking winning. Do you hear me? And when we quiet the noises, when we go inward, when we provide ourselves the sense of safety and security that nothing else can provide us but ourselves, my dudes, that clarity, that breakthrough, that insight can reach us. Because we are so very fucking connected to the divine. We're juggling two things here. And which reality do you prefer? Which reality do you prefer? You've got to let one go so you can pour fully into the one you want. I asked at the very end of this reading, Mama, God, is there anything else you want to share with me? She said, look at the bottom of the deck. And there was the Queen of Cups. Let Mama God mother you. Allow this time, 855, to be a time that you nurture yourself. I see you.